For this first segment, I wanted to talk about some upgrades that I'm going to do to my belt knife. Now, when I went looking for a belt knife 6 or 7 years ago, I looked for a good, strong, sturdy belt knife that was going to last me a lifetime. What I ended up with was the good old Buck 119. I'll hold that in front of my ugly mug so you don't have to look at me. You can look at the knife. Beautiful looking knife. After 6 or 7 years, it's in great shape. Real strong blade. I've hacked wood with this. I've cleaned fish with this. Been very, very happy with it. The most important feature, though, can actually be seen right nowhere at Walmart on the price tag. You can get this beauty for under 40 bucks. To me, that's a feature.
Now let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing here today and some of the items that are going to be needed. Obviously, first we need the good old Buck 119, beautiful knife there. I've got the older style leather scabbard you can see there on the right. They replaced this recently, it looks like, with one that's a little more modern, mesh type. Got a couple fish hooks there, triple teasers to those of you anglers out there that have a good eye. Some fishing line made by a company that I expect will be calling me anytime now to offer royalties for best product placement, and some good old 550 parachute cord.
Now, as careful as I am with any knife, you'll notice that this one has taken on a decidedly black look around the edge. Put a little electrical tape on there because we all know Murphy's Law, and I'd love to finish this segment with all of the 10 fingers that I now have. Well, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs if you want to be technical. Alright, now hopefully, I'm going to put a little extra light on this so you can see. Hopefully you're able to see there. We've taken our fishing line and wrapped it around the handle. Got a pretty good amount on there. If I had to make a professional guess, I'd say anywhere between 2 and 3 feet and 1,000 maybe. But anyways, in a pinch could come in handy. Okay, now we're going to deal with the fishing hooks. Now, the keen-eyed among you may notice that the fish hooks I have here in front of me are different from those we saw in the beginning. As I trial ran the triple teasers and tried to place them against the handle, I found that the body of the lure stuck out too much and caused an uncomfortable grip. So I've swapped it out for just 2 regular barbed worm hooks. Go ahead and place those on a piece of electrical tape. Today's favorite utility tool, and attach those to the handle. So there. Now you might be worried a little bit about grabbing onto this and having an unfriendly little poke in your hand, but as we wrap the handle with our parachute cord, you'll see it provides plenty of buffer between your hand and the hook. Nothing to worry about. Now, we are jumping a little out of sequence here, but I wanted to take a minute and talk about cutting and frapping, or basically melting, the end of parachute cord. Now, parachute cord is made of a nylon material, as you can see here. This is one of the interior threads. There are 5 of those, I believe, on the inside, and then a sheath on the outside holding everything together. Some of this is plastic, and so basically, as you cut this, and when you go to frap that in or melt it together, we want to get it nice and hot here. But one thing to keep in mind as we're doing this is that that right there could best be described as napalm. If you try to take your fingers at this point and pinch that together and work it, it's going to stick to your fingers and it's going to create a crazy burn on them. So give it a minute to cool off. Use your tool if you need to. Make sure the ends are nice and secure before you touch them. Then you have a nice, clean, frapped end. Okay, we're going to wrap up this segment and this project here, and I do mean that literally. We've got our knife here, and we've also got a nice long piece of parachute cord You may not want to cut this just yet because you don't know how much you're going to get on your knife. Sometimes you can get a single wrap, sometimes you can get a double. I can only do a single and still get it in my scabbard, and so I'll just be wrapping mine one time. But let me show you a little knot here. Wish I knew the name of it, but it's a handy little knot and it's going to make finishing this up real nice. What we want to do is start off by making a little loop in your parachute cord, and we want that loop to be longer than the handle by about half an inch or so, 3/4 of an inch on each end. And then we want to, on the top here, pinch that down real tight. Sorry, this is pinching this and getting this going is sometimes one of the hardest parts. I want to get a real good tight first couple wraps on there, and once those are in place, that's going to begin to hold all of that parachute cord as we work our way down. And then just work your way down the handle here. Nice tight wrap. Every once in a while I like to give it a little bit of a pull up toward the blade, make sure we're keeping things tight, getting as much parachute cord on there as possible. Wrap this down to this end and then pause. Okay, so here we've got our nice handle all wrapped top to bottom. We've got our pigtail at the top, pigtail at the bottom here, and we've got our nice little loop. What we're going to do is take the pigtail at the bottom, slip it through the loop here, just like that, and at the other end give it a nice sharp pull. And if you can see what's happening there, it's tying itself into a nice little neat knot down at this end, so that this will stay in place year after year, use after use, without coming undone. Provide you a nice grip, nice comfortable handle. We can trim the extra pieces off there. Give yourself a little bit of extra so that you can again wrap these and get those little pigtail ends all wrapped together so they don't come unraveled on you. So there we have it, our finished product. Nice belt knife, got a wonderfully wrapped handle now with some about 10 feet of good 550 paracord on there, and some hidden tools and things underneath just in case things should go south on us. I've got about 90 feet of paracord left, but thankfully I've got a Christmas present that I can still work on. So till the next time, please join in and see me for all the subsequent series we throw up, and be safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.